men's race.
She comes with some unbelievable track bona fides in her resume. 10,000 meter, the last World Championships at Eugene, her last really important track race. She was second, won the silver medal in the 10,000 as she came through. So they're a little less anxious to sort this thing out. Do you think every time Des, the defending champ from 2018, when she won that, do you think every time she goes out now and goes like, the weather's great? After winning in 2018, which was just the worst of all time conditions, she's got to be like, wow, super day to go running.
I actually think she does. You know, when you read her new book, she talks about that. She grew up in California. She went to college in Arizona. She moved to Michigan, and everyone was like, wait, how are you going to do in Michigan? And she loves the conditions when they're bad. She loves a hard race. That's why she chose to race over 26.2. She is gritty. She is tough, much like all of the women that we are looking at on the screen right now.
And one of them just tucked in there in all green. You can just get her on the left of the scene. Just a quick note there to Nell Rojas, the top American the last 2 years.
Yeah, Nell Rojas really loves to run here. You know, it hasn't even been 2 years. It's been since that COVID race when it was in the fall. So about 19 months about that she's run twice here and finished in the top American spot, 5th and 10th place.
Honestly, there are a lot of people and a lot of names to try to sort out there. I feel a lot easier if I could just go, hey Ed and hey Maria. Let me just go down to 2 people and let them handle their business.
Oh, you mean you want us to deal with the names?
No problem. No problem.
Thanks a lot, John.
No. The names are fine. Just too many of them right now.
There are too many. And we're going to deal with one. The name is Spencer. Spencer, the marathon dog. Spencer became the marathon dog, a familiar sight for runners along the marathon route. And as the elite men reach Ashland, this is where this is obviously taped, but this is where Spencer was all the time. And holding that, it almost looks like he was smiling all the time.
We loved Spencer. Earlier this year, he sadly lost his battle with cancer. And the reason why we're showing you Spencer really became an icon for holding that Boston Strong flag at the usual spot, right near Ashland State Park, regardless of the weather, for 9 years. Spencer was diagnosed with cancer last year, and it was clear that he was not going to make it to see this year's race. So there was a really special ceremony in January. Spencer received a special medal from the BAA. A portrait was unveiled at the Fairmont Copley Plaza in downtown Boston. And sadly, Spencer passed away in February at the age of 13.
And as you can see, the field is entering Ashland now, and you can hear the crowd is cheering him on. John, I won't even try to mention the names. I'll just let you do it. I'll say John has got the car. How about that? Does that work, John?
Listen, if my mom had named me Ababel or Gatti Tom, I'd be a heck of a lot better runner than just John. Right. So they go through the drink station. Man, they went through the first 5K in 14:17. That is spicy, my friend.
That is fast. That's Boston, downhill. You have the world record holder here, front runners, and it's just amazing to be able to go through that. I think we're going to see a great race, but patience is a virtue.
And the guy on the left there in the blue, Connor Mance, USA, as I said, twice the NCAA champion, coached by Ed Eyestone, a wonderful U.S. marathoner as well. And he and I had a long talk because in the collegiate ranks, where he was very, very dominant cross country, they talk about how the Mance zone, that he can take kind of more pain for longer than a lot of guys. And he said, but now I look at the starting line and think, all these guys are fit like I am, and they can all take pain like I can. And he's getting used to this new peer group.
Yeah, he's definitely in this new peer group. You know, we've seen him at the NCAA level for many years, and he's crushed there. And he loves to run on hard courses, and he loves to run on the track. This is going to bode well for him on a course like Boston. When you have seen him run so well on the cross-country courses that we've seen him run, he's strong. He can handle that, but can he handle 26.2 on this course? And I think that's the big question. He's super excited. We're super excited for him, but it's still early on.
In that pack, you had Mance and Kipchoge and Mark Career. There's several careers. Adedulam Belay. There's Junk. So all the careers are there. That's nice to make everything super confusing for everybody as they go through. Gabrielle Gay. And C.J. Albertson, who a couple years ago decided, I'm going to lead the Boston Marathon as long as I can. And he was out there for, what, 18 miles, man?
Yes, he was leading in 2021 for 18 miles, and, you know, he did great. He took out the pace, and I talked to him this week, and he just said, hey, the pace was a little slow for me. I'm going to take the lead, and he did a great job and still finished in the top 10, so you got to give him respect for that.
So the men start out cooking at 4:37. The women go through their first mile. Carrie in 6:09. I mean, listen, you can tap telephone poles and get creosote to come down faster.
Well, you could tell that early on that they were really a little bit more relaxed. And that's okay. 6 of the top seven from the World Championships are in this field right now. There's a lot of eyes on each other and not so much on the clock. They want to win. You know, Emma Bates, as we see her right behind Megan Kripchen right there. Emma Bates is somebody that says she's in world American record pace right now. That's sub 2:20 pace, but not on this course. She wants to win.
Mm-hmm. Is almost helpful at some point because the sun's not beating down on you. Doesn't look like it's too wet for him out there, so it's not ideal spectator conditions, but it's not bad if I got to go out and run.
I think it's perfect.
I think it's perfect. The only difference is the humidity a little bit. I hope all the athletes are able to take their fluid station, which is every 5K. But you can see Connor Mance kind of looking around to the competitors, and that's a great analysis to be able to study.
You can see him not just because of the blue, but he also sort of lists to the left when he runs, right? You know, he's just got that kind of a head tilt that's easily recognizable. So we have the men's professional, and Kipchoge is right there. The women is going, and when we come back, more from that man. David Ortiz, Big Poppy. Nope, I'm not going to say it because I don't have the beat button, but we're coming back with more from the 127th Boston Marathon.
You want to know what it takes to be great? You work harder, go further, train longer. There's more to it. The secret is how you recover. When active recovery is part of your game, you're thinking about your whole game. Backed by science, trusted by champions, loved by all. Activate your recovery with UFOs.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people like Sam who make
everyday products designed smarter. Like a smart coffee grinder that orders fresh beans for you.
Oh, genius. For more breakthroughs like that,
I need a breakthrough card.
Like ours, with 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more.
Plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases.
And with greater spending potential, Sam can keep making smart ideas
a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness? If you've ever experienced the warning signs of bad circulation, then you need Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way. Soothe pain and calm restless legs. Reduce swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, and stimulate healthy circulation. Stay active with Legzercise Pro.
There's always a fresh deal on the Subway app, like this one. 50% off? That deal's so good, we don't even need an 8-time All-Star to tell you about it.
Wait, what?
Get it before it's gone on the Subway app.
Get customizable furniture at joybird.com that complements your art, your green thumb, or just you. Now save 30% off site-wide. Plus, get free design services at joybird.com.
We are back on the 127th Boston Marathon, principally sponsored by John Hancock, and we're going crazy with running and wheeling. We got a 4-box first on the course this morning with the men's wheelchair. There's Marcel Hug. He's up by nearly 6 minutes. Amanda McGrory, we're going to get to you in a minute, but I'm going to declare that one over. Women's wheelchair, second to go. Susanna Scaroni of the U.S. out there, and she's, despite having to pull over and do some mechanical work, is out in front by more than a minute. The men's elite field, there's the boss right there. If you feel froggy, get after it. But right now, Kipchoge is setting the pace, and everybody else is queuing off what he has to do. And then the women's race is also on the course. And now we get ready for the people, right? The race is up front. The race is up front. I feel like the marathon is in the back. Those are the people that are out here. By the way, these are all really good runners. You don't just get to walk up to the starting line here in Boston.
No, you have to qualify, and you have to run very fast to get here. So, yeah, the people here have put in the work. And, you know, this has been not such an easy winter for many of them. So it's been a lot of time on the treadmills and really kind of focusing in on this race.
It's a beautiful sight.
Saw a guy go by in a 12 Patriots jersey. I don't think that's Tom Brady. You see a number 2, it might be Brian Hoyer, but I don't think so. This is, to borrow from the president, the head of the BAA, Jack Fleming. This is America's original marathon. It is a race that is both revered and renowned, and these people are a part of it.
Yeah.
Right? You can go play golf courses where they hold golf majors, and you go, well, listen, I hit out a Tiger Woods divot. But you don't get to play it on the same day that those guys get to play. You're running the same course on the same day as Eliud Kipchoge. And that's an amazing thing about this sport and about these events, Matt.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, you know, you can't play with Tom Brady, you can't golf with Tiger Woods, or you can't play Michael Jordan, but Kipchoge is one of those guys, and those people, 30,000 people will be on the pavement of Kipchoge, who's paving for, and he's doing a great job.
30,000 people, they got to go ways because these are narrow streets when you get started, right? This is a tight little spot right there. Look at that, it's 2 lanes. You can't pass there. The line, it's a double yellow line. So as they get started there on their journey here from Hopkinton into Boston, we go back to Amanda McGraw. We go back to the women's race, mile 16. So we're getting close to the hills now for Susanna Scaroni. How much is that in your head, the first 16, 17 miles, Amanda, that we know that we're getting to the Newton Hills?
So even with Susanna's stop to fix her wheel, she's doubled her lead on the pack behind her, and that's only going to be good things for her. You start the race out, you know the hills are coming, but you can't race for the hills at the end because you've got athletes like Marcel, Susanna, Manuela who are going to hit those first hills hard and take them down as fast as they can. So you're waiting for the climbs, you're ready for the climbs, but you can't save for them.
Mm-hmm. Marcel Hug on the left. He's up, as we said, nearly 6 minutes as he went through 25K. We talk about 26.2 miles, right? It's 42.185K?
195.
195. So it's 42K as we go through. So, Amanda, that looks to me like a guy who's hurting.
He looks like he's hurting, but at 20 miles, he was on pace to go 2 minutes under the current course record. So as long as he can hold on to this, he's got a really, really good chance at breaking his own course record here today.
And to differentiate really between the wheelers and the elite racers we'll see when they come through here, you get to the top of these hills, the downhills are great because you can coast where, Carrie Tulson, if you're running, you go down those hills, man, your quads are searing.
They are screaming. And, you know, if you go too fast, too early, you're going to feel them again after the Newton Hills, and that is a deal breaker.
There's the men's professional race. How much is too much respect that I can pay to Eliud Kipchoge in this race? if you're running with him, can you be too deferential?
You know, he can't be too differential, but at the same time, this is where he is dictating the pace, and consistently for 37s, they just went about 4 miles at 18:26. You can see the group just got smaller and smaller, and it's now to be able to just be in somebody's mind. Everybody knows each other's strengths and weaknesses at this point, and you don't want to be falling apart from this group because you want to hold on for as long as you can.
And 4 minutes and 37 per mile is exactly the pace that he ran when he won when he set the world record in Berlin at 2:01:09. 4:37, 26 times. And I mean this in the nicest way. That's stupid. Carrie, I think we got some Minnesotans in there.
No, we definitely do. We've got 2 of them at least, but Megan Christian right now, she's out in the lead. You know, she's had a great year running many marathons. I think maybe this is her 5th marathon in 2022 and now in the early part of 2023. And she is a sub 2:30 marathoner. So she's keeping this pace honest. You know, we aren't seeing, like we are on the men's side, this real aggressive pace. But when you are in this kind of a pack where you do know that you have such, you know, great in that pack, you still need to run your own race. And I think that's what we saw even, Matt, with your race. You ran your own race that day. You had a lot on you. You wanted to win, but you also were running your own race. And I think people were you know, kind of playing around and focusing on other people, maybe not looking at you as much. And that's what's happening right here. They're focusing on other people and not necessarily the pace or who's leading.
Having a deep group, that's what it means. You got to be able to study each other and who's going to make the first move. So you kind of just cautiously studying each other.
For the first time, we're seeing Amane Bariso. She's the fastest woman in this field by 3 minutes. She's got a 2:14 marathon PB, and she is one of the athletes that everyone is watching to see if she can run close to what she's run before in 2:14.
They came through the first 5K in 17:48, and that's not going to wear anybody out. So that's why that pack is as it is. The men approaching 3 minutes in on their race, so that means they're just they probably just kicked through 10K in 28:52. Kipchoge comes through in 28:52. I feel like since it's a water station and the guys are rehydrating and taking a bit of a break, we will as well from the booth and go back to Ed and Maria.
All right, John, so if you didn't know, Boston Marathon is held on Patriots Day here in Massachusetts.
And Patriots Day here in Massachusetts marks the shot heard round the world, the Battle of Lexington and Concord, back on April 19th of 1775. And that, of course, kicked off the American Revolution. A reenactment is held on Lexington Green every year on this day. And this is what you're seeing here, obviously. From 1897 until 1968, so an extended period of time. Patriots Day was always on April 19th, no matter what day of the week that fell on. But then in 1969, Massachusetts state law was changed to officially recognize Patriots Day on the third Monday in April, which is this year on the 17th. But Massachusetts, Maine, Wisconsin, Florida, Connecticut, and North Dakota, they all celebrate Patriots Day today. So we're all Patriots on this day, not only in those 6 states here in the Union, but here in Boston on Marathon Monday.
It is wonderful, and thank you so much for being here with us on this Patriots Day, the 127th running of the great Boston Marathon.
We all define our finish lines differently, but realizing them always starts with good health. It equips us for the journey, moving us forward, where limitations get redefined, world records fall, and possibilities are endless, bringing us one step closer to achieving our ultimate goals, unlocking all that life has to offer through the power of health.
It's faster. It's electric. It's a new era. It's gone! Give us baseball at its best. Mets, Giants. It's the series finale under the lights of Sunday Night Baseball.
Are you thinking about buying an annuity? Before you do, get the little-known secrets to receiving guaranteed income and protecting your hard-earned money. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Everything you need to know can be found in this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. It reveals the 5 little-known secret truths about annuities in easy-to-understand terms. Call now and get your free copy. Don't make a move without it. These 5 secret truths are the hacks we believe all seniors, boomers, and those approaching retirement should know to maximize their retirement with guaranteed annuity income. Call and get your copy now. As a bonus for those who call, we'll give you our free annuity rate report that summarizes rates and benefits from the top annuity providers. Supplies are limited. Call and get your free books now.
Call 800-551-3142. That's 800-551-3142.
th Boston Marathon is in full swing. The men's wheelchair, about 8 minutes now from finishing up, and that's just going to be a coronation the last couple of miles for Marcel Hug. The women's wheelchair, Susanna Scaroni about to win for the first time in Boston after so many races and close finishes. Bottom left, men's professional race. There's Eliud Kipchoge and a bunch of guys who are not Eliud Kipchoge. Great credentials, but not them. Amanda, Go ahead, try to inject some drama in this for me.
Looks like the roads are dry. Marcel is really, really comfortable. The pack behind him has fallen apart, and that's a really interesting story there, too. We've got Daniel Romachuk in third, with a relative newcomer, Jesse Platt, ahead of him, who's a two-time gold medalist in para-triathlon. But Marcel is just cruising here. He looks super, super comfortable. He's still on pace for a course record. We're looking at 1:17.44 right now. If he can hold the pace he's on right now, he will smash that course record and set a new world's best time.
So he's racing the clock, is what you're telling me.
Marcel took off to race the clock. I think he thinks about that more than anything else out there. He's not concerned about his competitors. He's got a time he wants to hit, and he's going to do it. If you can stick with them, good luck.
And I'm sure there's some want to, because a year ago he withdrew from this race with illness like 60 minutes before the start. So that tells you that he wrestled with that decision before he made it.
Absolutely. And he has been undefeated since 2021. He is dominant right now. Holds world records over every event from the 400 all the way up, and has been absolutely unbeaten since Daniel took him in a sprint finish in Chicago.
He is so dominant that when I quizzed him on some of the wins he had in the world, he had no idea how many he had in each of these cities. Great to have live action here at the 127th Boston Marathon. Marcel Hug, an hour and 10 minutes in, the great Swiss, the silver bullet, powering his way towards the finish line here in Boston. He has made it through Hopkinton, through Ashland, through Framingham, Natick, Wellesley, Newton, and Brookline and Boston remain. He'll get to come down Boylston Street. He's done it before, but I imagine each time is fantastic. You see really wet pavement there. There's Susanna Scaroni. I mean, how much do I have to watch? If I'm Hug, how much do I have to make sure I don't mess this up on the wet pavement on the way in?
Absolutely, that is the factor for Marcel right now. He can't make any mistakes. If he makes a mistake, if he slips on the pavement, if he takes a bad turn, he's going to lose his chance at a course record here. He's at 3:08 per mile for his last mile. That was mile 23. And that's a really, really solid pace. Susanna looks like she's continuing. She's smooth. She's climbing well. She's still in dry pavement right now, so she doesn't have to worry about that just quite yet.
Now, the beauty of this for Hug is that even if some disaster should be falling, he's got time to change tires and do a lot of other things when he comes through here. He's through the hard part, right? When they go through Kenmore Square, I don't know where they saw it, but there's some railroad tracks that Eliud Kipchoge is going to kind of have to watch his step. But you really have to watch your chair, because that is
get your wheels stuck in them, and you'll go down. Take whoever is with you down as well. But Marcel, he's cruising, he's comfortable. You can see he's picked up his pace a little bit. His arms are moving a little bit faster. He knows he's close to the record, and he wants that record.
Well, you can see he is dug in here. That is not a guy that is coasting to the finish. That is a guy who is powering to the finish.
On the women's side, Susanna's still running a good pace as well. She was 1:35.08 at 18 miles. That's a 3:40 pace. She's going sub 4-minute miles, even through the hills.
And listen, I would think in her case, much like the other one, any record would be nice, but if you've never won this race and you've had so many close finishes, let me just get to the tape.
Absolutely. This is not nearly as much about the time for Susanna. This will be a big win for her in a very, very strong field, and this is an absolutely dominant performance.
Yes, we said this is the 9th time that she's been here, and she has so much experience in these World Marathon Majors. When she finally cracked through last year to win at Chicago and then followed that up, stamps her certainly to some degree, at least in the current time, maybe not historically, but in the current time, she is now Char's equal.
And she is one to watch. I think she's going to continue to become more confident, to get stronger, to learn more about all of these courses and about her own strengths. Marcel just passed 24 miles. He's on a 2:57 pace right now.
And now he is just following the motorbikes and hoping, as Amanda touched on, hopefully they know the way.
Absolutely. He knows, though. He's going to keep his head up this time. He knows he can make a wrong turn if he follows them off the course. Just past 25 miles, and he looks really, really comfortable.
Yeah, they go down under an underpass, and then it's just the 1 mile left.
He's pulled his projected finish from low 117s down to the high 116s. If he can hit that, he is going to break his own course record by over a minute. He will be the first man in a wheelchair to go sub 117 over 26 miles, which is incredible. That's amazing.
Another barrier. This first wheelchair race here in Boston came in 1975, so this is the 49th running. Just for a little comparison's sake, and I realize it's different days, Daniel Romachuk last year won here in 1:26:58. And Hug is about to just explode past that number.
Absolutely. The wind, the conditions, the weather, they all play huge, huge factors in the wheelchair race, as we mentioned earlier. And this is the perfect day for Marcel. Light wind, cool weather, and he came out confident.
He's come through. He's rolled 1:17:47 is his world record. And I don't know how closely we keep barriers, Amanda. Like, I feel like 120 would be a great barrier. I don't know, is 117, is that, do we get to bronze him after this?
You know, I'm not even sure anyone knew that was possible.
Okay.
This sport is moving so quickly. Technology is advancing, training techniques are advancing. All of this is continuing to improve because wheelchair racing is not that old. Racing chairs designed this way with 3 wheels have only existed since the early 90s. So we're still learning a lot about all of this.
So there's Hug behind him, Jetse Plot from the Netherlands, Romachuk, the defending champ, in 3rd. They were 8 minutes behind, excuse me, at the last 5. Getting some cheers as he comes through the streets in Boston. He is in 6th place. And now the turn.
And he is cruising. Another huge thing to mention if we're talking about barriers and equality for this wheelchair division is the equal prize bonus for breaking that course record. Boston was one of the first races to put that into effect. And this is a big thing when we're talking about equality of these divisions.
First place here will pay $25,000. There is a $50,000 time bonus. That'll make you chase your clock.
Absolutely, and he knows he has it. He knew from the start that this was his goal. Look how confident he is coming across the finish line here.
Yep, he has just a few 100 meters to go to championship number 6. Marcel Hug. Give that man his medal. Boston Marathon champ one more time and in record-setting style.
Marcel Hug, 2023 Boston Marathon champion. This is his 6th championship here in Boston and 3rd course record.
And you hear the bells of the Old South Church toll in honor of the champion, Marcel Hug.
Marcel Hug's unofficial finishing time is 1:17:06. That is smashing his former record here by almost a minute.
By the way, yeah, and by the way, if we have to correct that up or down a second, like, I don't know that I'm unimpressed any less by that. That's amazing. Amazing run. So we'll let him gather himself, and we will visit with him soon after that phenomenal performance. And we go back to the elite races as it has begun to rain on the men out on the course and the women in the elite fields. The men have gone through 10K. They're got to be coming through pretty soon here for 15K. Men, they've slowed a bunch. I say they've slowed a bunch, and we're talking 4:46 for mile 5, 4:41 for mile 6, and 4:52 for mile 7. So it's not quite as froggy as we had previously. And Carrie, we still have a bunch of ladies interested in the fight here.
We definitely do. I mean, look at that pack right now, and you can see a bunch of our Americans. I feel like it's exactly where she likes to be, running her own race. You know, you can see Annie Frisbee in there as well, but right up front, we are looking at Marine Chepkamoy. This is her first time running in the U.S. and also the first time running in a World Marathon Majors. And she's been leading the charge for a long time. On her shoulder there is Lorna Salpeter. She is third from the World Championship. She was second at the New York City Marathon. She really wants a win. She wants a #1.
Yes.
She's had a lot of podiums. She wants a #1.
The women's wheelchair champion in waiting. Although she's fighting through some final hills there, Susanna Scaroni will have the finish of the women's wheelchair. Amanda will take us through that with insight and expertise when we return here to the 127th Boston Marathon.
AG1 by Athletic Greens gives you the daily nutrients that form the foundation for your health routine. It's made with the highest quality ingredients, put through the strictest quality testing standards, so everybody can own their health. Start your journey at athleticgreens.com.
It's Pod's biggest sale of the year. Save up to 30% on moving and storage until April 17th. And see why Pods has been trusted with over 6 million moves nationwide. Save up to 30% now until April 17th. Visit pods.com today.
You're looking pleased with yourself.
Not to brag, but I just switched to Verizon.
So you got an awesome network.
And when I switched, I got to choose the phone. Call you back.
Switch and choose the phone you want, like the incredible iPhone 14 on us.
On the network worth bragging about.
Verizon.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people like Sam who make
everyday products designed smarter.
Like a smart coffee grinder
that orders fresh beans for you.
Oh, genius. For more breakthroughs like that,
I need a breakthrough card.
Like ours, with 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more.
Plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases.
And with greater spending potential, Sam can keep making smart ideas
a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
Trinity Thomas is the best in NCAA gymnastics, maybe even in the world.
Oh, did she drill that? Oh, my goodness.
Fantastic. There it is. Oh, my gosh.
Feels like a change is coming.
Bring it in for the XFL regular season finale.
It's a faith that it's going to work.
It's a fight to the finish for teams eager to leave their mark in the playoffs. Week 10 of the XFL kicks off Saturday and continues Sunday on ESPN and ESPN2.
Yeah, I guess at time 36.
Back at the 127th Boston Marathon, Amanda McGrory, as exciting and as fun as it looks when you are coasting downhill, this part just looks brutal.
It is grueling. The great thing about wheelchair racing is we do get a recovery down those hills. You can shake your arms out a little bit, you can roll down the hill, you can recover a little bit, but it's not enough to be ready for this. And Susanna is hurting. She's through 20 miles, so we're getting close to the end here, but she has such a big gap, 3 minutes ahead of defending champion Manuela Schär. I think that she can afford to struggle a little bit here. She doesn't necessarily have to be at her best to keep that gap.
What does she have today that Schär's missing on this day?
Susanna's strength, and it has always been her strength, is that she grinds. She wants to push as hard as she can. She has grit. She wants to go, and she wants to test herself and see how fast she can go. She hasn't had the skill, she hasn't had the strength to really capitalize on that yet. But right now, she's untouchable, and she is going to work harder than anyone else out there. She's still on a 3:44 pace, which is solid, and she is about to finish in her second fastest time ever on this course.
And it's an amazing thing, as you touched on, what confidence can do. You win a couple of world majors, and suddenly it's not just your peer group, you own them. And there, look at the emotion. You don't think that guy's happy, Amanda, when he came through in that time? I mean, that guy's got more wins than anybody in the history of women's marathon, wheelchair marathon majors, and he is still excited, and he is a champ, and he is down there with Sage Steele.
And here
Sage,
we are with
I don't know how you,
six-time Boston Marathon champion, Marcel Hug. Okay, I say 6 times, and your grin gets as big as I've ever seen it, and I've seen it pretty big before, certainly in New York. How does this one feel compared to the previous 5?
It feels incredible. It was a great race, but also difficult race in these conditions, and to do this fast time on this course in these conditions is, for me, it's incredible.
Okay, yes, I have to talk about the fast time, 1:17:06. So you blew away your own course record by a minute. How at one point did you have over a 7-minute lead on this kind of competition, Marcel?
I don't know. Just try to go hard from the beginning, as hard as possible, and see what's possible in these conditions. But yeah, 7 minutes, it's a lot. Yeah.
Okay, he's so humble about it. That's a lot. Talk to me about the hardest part of the race. Obviously, we know the hills, but the hills combined with these conditions, and we were talking about it on the race while watching you. You really still couldn't afford to make a mistake, and that was hard to not do on these conditions.
Yeah, it was definitely difficult in these conditions, especially in the corners. You have to brake softly. And the railways were also difficult, 36 kilometers. And but yeah, the uphills are really tough, but in the downhill you have time to recover.
So what's next? Your resume continues to get more and more impressive. Obviously, you need to absorb this, and I hope enjoy it. But then, what's next for you?
Next race is London Marathon next Sunday, so very big.
Next Sunday?
Yeah, next Sunday.
You're crazy, and we love it. Marcel Hug, the silver bullet, gets it done again. 6-time champion here at the Boston Marathon. Thank you, and congrats again. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, Sage, when you ask what's next, I'm like, you don't want to know, because it's all too soon. Susanna Scaroni, she's getting ready to come down Boylston Street and get her first championship at the Boston Marathon. We're back with the conclusion of that fantastic race when we return here on ESPN2 and WCVB.
26.2 miles that push you to the limit of what's possible. To prove that at our healthiest, there's no telling how far we can go. Join Abbott as we celebrate the runners of the Boston Marathon, one of the premier races of the Abbott World Marathon Majors, because wherever we are on life's journey, with good health, we are unstoppable. Welcome to the final push, where greatness is tested, where unstoppable forces collide, legends break through, and legacies are etched in gold. It's playoffs time, and whatever happens next is going to be beautiful. The NBA Playoffs Friday on ESPN and ABC.
Do you listen to the TV on high volume or have trouble hearing conversations? Then you would benefit from hearing aids. Don't waste thousands on expensive hearing aids when you can get MD Hearing's revolutionary Neo hearing aids for just $299 a pair. Don't be fooled by higher-priced hearing aids. The Neo is a true hearing aid, not an amplifier. With rechargeable technology many customers say is superior to more expensive models. Call now and get not one, but 2 Neo hearing aids for just $299. Plus, we'll add in a portable charging dock and ship your order absolutely free. The Neo is nearly invisible with its tiny in-the-ear canal design. And you can get 2 Neo hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime US-based support for only $299. So call now.
800-791-0481. Again, that's 800-791-0481.
Back here on the 127th Boston Marathon. A look at the men's and women's professional fields right there, and still quite a pack of the men as they went through 43:56 for 15K, which was just off the course record by about 8 seconds, at least the pace at the time by Geoffrey Mutai. Women's professional race is out there and riding along on course in the elements with the women's professional race and elite runners is Naoko Funiyama, longtime Boston reporter, member of the WCVB sports team. She is on our team. And honestly, Naoko, I thought we'd have more people for you to keep track of at this point. How's it going?
It's going great here. They're about 10 miles into the race.
It's great. You know, the runners are looking very, very strong. They've got really good body language, very relaxed. They were running in a big pack for a while, but now they've really spread out. And some thought that the pace would be coming out of the gate very, very fast because of the fact that 15 of these runners have a personal best of under 2 hours and 21 minutes. So, I mean, this is a very stacked field. But when I spoke to Amani Bariso a couple of days ago, she said she hopes the pace isn't too fast coming out of the gate because she wants to gradually build up. And that's exactly what she's done as the leader of the pack for a good portion of this most recent part of the race, John.
Thank you, Nauko. As we keep
5:08.
track of that as we go through, women kind of surged there in mile 7. They went for 5:08. Riding shotgun with our elite men's field, WCVP reporter, longtime Boston sports observer, covering this race more than a dozen times, Josh Brogadier. Josh, just give us a feel for what you've got here. Is listen, you got nothing but alpha dogs right there running in front of you.
Alpha dogs is a good way to describe it, John. We've got a pack of 12 here, of course, led by Eliud Kipchoge. Who else? But I'm very impressed by C.J. Albertson, who kind of falls back and then he comes ahead, and he's been neck and neck the entire time. Of course, he led for 18 miles last year. We're approaching Wellesley. I don't hear that scream tunnel yet, but I did run for a little while with members of the Wellesley Blue track and field team. They said they wanted to come out and watch the elite runners. They were going to get up early before all the screaming started to enjoy it. And we can certainly enjoy this along with them on this race. John?
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to get loud and it gets lusty when they get over the Wellesley, which will be nice. There you see the men's elite race. Meb, I'm sorry I cut you off to get to Nauko. You were saying as they went through the 10K mark.
10-mile mark.
10 miles.
There's about 10 or 12 of them. Went out 47.18. Slowed down a little bit to 4:56, which is about 2:04:01 pace, which is great.
You get the sense that they're still kind of running. Nobody's raced yet.
No, nobody has raced yet. They're still watching each other, but I think they'll be. They just went through Wellesley, and we're looking forward to make probably a big move coming up.
One of the favorite things that I've heard coming into this race is C.J. Albertson describing how he does his downhill training. His treadmill does not do -2%, which you need on this course. So he puts bricks underneath his treadmill to pound on those quads. And another thing I've heard is the great Dick Beardsley used to pound his quads in training afterwards to see if that would help. He doesn't have any science behind it, and if anyone knows Dick Beardsley, they know this is kind of fun. But the way that these guys train, and it's no surprise to see C.J. Albertson up there with Kipchoge.
I know that Dick Beardsley needed to find 2 more seconds.
He did.
In the great race with Alberto Salazar.
Yes, he did.
Back in 1983, right? They ran 2:08:52 and 2:08:54, I believe is what they came through in that wonderful race there. And, there's nothing to lead me to believe, Meb, in looking at that picture, that Kipchoge's uncomfortable in the least.
No, he is looking perfect. His form is just right and in control. As you described him earlier, the alpha man is in control and looks great, and his stride looks absolutely incredible, and those other guys are taking his lead.
See Evans Chibet over on the right side, the defending champ. His teammate Benson Kipruto is there as well. Is there a way those two guys can work together, Meb, to try and maybe wear down Kipchoge, his teammates?
You know, as I was competing, those Kenyans and Ethiopians, sometimes they speak Amharic or Swahili, but the Kenyans are contingent all over there. So, yes, they will work together, but the question is when.
Love that we absolutely pointed out, so you know, Eliud Kipchoge, because he's the guy you want to know, running in the States for the first time since 2014 when he won in Chicago, and he said, I am just happy to put my feet in the streets of Boston. And he has been an unbelievable ambassador for Boston since he came a little early. But this guy has been mobbed everywhere he's gone since he's been in town. He's got a phalanx of security just because everybody wants to get a look at him. Carrie.
The energy that it takes, and, you know, again, Meb, you are probably one of the first athletes that really did outside appearances when we were at big events. You were scheduled and scheduled and scheduled. But to know how much work goes into what Kipchoge has had to do this weekend, besides now line up and race, I mean, his schedule's been packed.
I mean, his schedule is packed. I have to win the Boston Marathon to get the attention that people kind of connected with me. He didn't even start Hopkinton, and he was already mobbed. He's such an icon, a great leader, and an amazing legend for the sport and ambassador from globally. And that's why everybody, you know, him running under 2 hours made him who he is, and people just want to get a picture or time with him.
And he's coming through the Scream Tunnel with the Wellesley and all the students there at Wellesley. I'm just letting that wash over us a little bit. It is loud, and they love it. Ed and Maria, these are your people.
Well, there's a reason why it's loud, John. This is a tradition that goes back decades. We call it the Wellesley Scream Tunnel.
And just listen to them. I mean, and that isn't, there's no script, there's no cue card being held up and said, scream, everyone. They just scream. This is at Wellesley College, which is right at the entrance, right on the line between Natick and Wellesley. As soon as you get into Wellesley, it's right near the halfway. You heard them pass through. It's a tunnel of noise, the hoots and hollers. The students offer high fives. I didn't see any kisses right there as they went through, but obviously this is the elite group. Wait till the other runners go through. Stand by for that. Kisses. Sometimes that's not even enough. Runners get some added inspiration from handmade signs of encouragement. The students show off it too. It's a little lifter as you hit the halfway point, guys.
Meb, did you ever sneak off and get a kiss there, or did the Scream Tunnel?
I did not do the kiss, but however you remember the sound of there is just a thrilling to be there and give them thumbs up, pump their chest. Is exciting, is very enthusiastic people, and want to just make you want to go faster.
You didn't go by and give a kiss, but my husband sure did.
Charlie got in there?
He did.
And you're not mad, you're done.
I'm not mad at him. You go for it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
Chuck's a handsome man.
He is.
Probably had a lot of suitors along the way when he comes through there. Kipchoge right out in front, which is what the people that came to see this race want to see. Trying to add Boston to his resume to go with Tokyo, London, Berlin, Chicago. We're going to go back out to Josh, and I'm just going to hope he can hear me in this because it's loud out there. Josh?
I can hear you at this point, although we're going through Wellesley Center now, just through that Scream Tunnel. The energy level was incredible. And I should point something out. You might even be able to see rain on my lens. We've got a steady drizzle right now as we're coming through here. It has not stopped these crowds from enjoying this moment and seeing this pack come through. You're all talking about how great Eliud looks. I agree with you, but I think there are 11 other runners with him who also look very strong right now. At some point, maybe he bursts ahead, but as of right now, they're all staying together. It's a great race to watch, and I should say, I think I do have the best seat in the house. John?
Listen, I'd trade with you except for the rain. As they go through their Meb, 59:01 for 20K. You impressed yet?
Absolutely. This is a course record pace, still possible as they went 59:01 at the 20K. 58:45 for Mutai, where Mutai was. So 4:44 last mile. You know, the competition is starting to happen. We would not be surprised to see a possible course record.
Yeah, still very much in play. Jeffrey Mutai. Jeffrey Mutai's record is also the fastest marathon ever run on American soil. Though we're not going to get into all the rules of it. Boston records are not things that could be considered world records or world best, but certainly the time is the time when you put it down. And 2:03 and change is the fastest ever run here in the United States. Kipchoge and the rest.
What a great run for the Americans here. CJ Alperson and Connor Mantz be able to be there. You know, it's just a ride, you know, ride the wave. This is what is happening, and to be in the same course, same pace as Kipchoge, it gives them a thrill of a lifetime.
Mantz is in the back of that pack, but he's still right there. He had a great debut marathon in Chicago, second fastest time ever by an American in a debut. He would like to get under 2:08 for sure. Take a look at the 3 box. Marcel Hug's a champ. Who's going to join him with the elite men, the elite women? Next across the line is going to be Susanna Scaroni. We know she's going to get her laurel wreath. That's coming up when we come back.
The first time you made a sale online with GoDaddy was also the first time you heard of a town named Dinosaur, Colorado.
I just got an order from Dinosaur, Colorado.
Start an easy-to-build, powerful website for free with a partner that always puts you first. Start for free at GoDaddy.com.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people like Sam who make
everyday products designed smarter.
Like a smart coffee grinder
That orders fresh beans for you.
Oh, genius. For more breakthroughs like that,
I need a breakthrough card.
like ours, with 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more.
Plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases.
And greater spending.
It's Pod's biggest sale of the year. Save up to 30% on moving and storage until April 17th. And see why Pods has been trusted with over 6 million moves nationwide. Save up to 30% now until April 17th. Visit pods.com today.
Are you thinking about buying an annuity? Before you do, get the little-known secrets to receiving guaranteed income and protecting your hard-earned money. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Everything you need to know can be found in this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers. It reveals the 5 little-known secret truths about annuities in easy-to-understand terms. Call now and get your free copy. Don't make a move without it. These 5 secret truths are the hacks we believe all seniors, boomers, and those approaching retirement should know to maximize their retirement with guaranteed annuity income. Call and get your copy now. As a bonus for those who call, we'll give you our free annuity rate report that summarizes rates and benefits from the top annuity providers. Supplies are limited. Call and get your free books now.
Call 800-551-3142. That's 800-551-3142.
127th Boston Marathon on ESPN2 and WCVB. We got a lot of business happening in the men's elite race and the women's elite race. They've got some time, so we're going to concentrate on the women's wheelchair, where Susanna Scaroni, in her 9th try, is about to win the Boston Marathon. Amanda, is there any potential between now and the finish line that could derail this thing?
You know, she has such a gap on the rest of the field. She's up over a mile. She could slow down. She could push one-handed across the finish line, and I think that she's still got this. And this is really her strength. Grit, how she loves to do this. And in the 5K on Saturday morning, the third place group of men, and they sprinted across the line to come in ahead of her. That's how fast she is. She's out there, and she really, really just wants to test herself and to test the
Watching her come through. I mean, this has got to be really no stress. Because usually, Amanda, when you say I won by a mile, like that's hyperbole, right?
This is a literal.
She's going to win by a mile.
Absolutely. And it's so funny because she texted me this morning and said, I don't know if I'm feeling it today. And clearly, she is feeling it today. She went off hard from the start.
Or good Lord, if she's not feeling it.
Absolutely. Who knows what she's capable of when she is feeling great.
Listen, give me the difference. She was the runner-up in 2022. Like, it's only one spot from second to first. But just the difference that is in your life and what it can mean.
You know what? For someone like Susanna, who has been on this circuit for so long and has been trying to get these wins for such a long time, to win her first Boston, to win her 3rd major, this is so huge. She's going to be absolutely over the moon, especially because she didn't think she was strong enough. She didn't think she had it in her today.
I mean, her career is just nothing but top 5s. And then in the last year, starting in Chicago and New York and now here, finally that top step of the podium.
Absolutely. It took her a little bit longer to break through, but when she did, she was ready. She was experienced. She knew the courses. She knew her strengths. She knew her competitors. And she's here. She is a serious force to contend with.
And she'd won marathons before. She'd won in Los Angeles a couple of times. I love people in Duluth. She'd won grandmas. But this is a different level. There's a reason they call them platinum races.
There is. The fields here, the level of competition that you get here is like no other race. And Boston is the race. All around the world, even people who don't run marathons know the Boston Marathon. So to be able to call yourself the Boston Marathon champion is huge. And here she is, all alone, by herself. Not a chance anyone else is going to catch her.
She has only got a few hundred meters more. Means she's only got to pass one more Dunkin' Donuts.
You can see it. You can see the smile on her face. She knows she has it.
Hey, you don't need me. I'm going to let this wash over me, and I'm going to let you call your friend home as she wins the Boston Marathon. Take it.
So excited.
Amanda, give me the sense of both the exhaustion and the exhilaration in that moment.
When you finish a race like that, when you come through, when you break the tape,
Nothing but top fives. And then in the last year, starting in Chicago and New York, and now here, finally that top step of the podium.
Absolutely. It took her a little bit longer to break through, but when she did, she was ready. She was experienced. She knew the courses.
People in Duluth, she'd won grandmas, but this is a different level. There's a reason they call them platinum races.
There is. The fields here, the level of competition that you get here is it's like no other race. And Boston is the race. All around the world, even people who don't run marathons know the Boston Marathon. So to be able to call yourself the Boston Marathon champion is huge. And here she is, all alone, by herself. Not a chance anyone else is going to catch her.
She has only got a few hundred meters more. Means she's only got to pass one more Dunkin' Donuts.
You can see it. You can see the smile on her face. She knows she has it.
Hey, you don't need me. I'm going to let this wash over me, and I'm going to let you call your friend home as she wins the Boston Marathon. Take it.
So excited to call my friend, my teammate, Susanna Scaroni, the 2023 Boston Marathon Professional Women's Wheelchair Division champion.
Great pacing, but yes, I mean, you want to protect your space, you want to protect your distance, but sometimes it's a sign of fatigueness sometimes when people...
So that's certainly a respectable time, if not a course record or world record time. That's still, they're doing some good yeoman work there. There you see Evans Chibet over on the right side. Champion last year in Boston as well as New York, and he's a guy you're going to watch. We're trying to watch up to about 35K because in both their victories, Chibet last year and Benson Kipruto in 21, 35K is where they decided that they were going to decide the race, and they went.
Absolutely. I think they're spreading out a little bit here because they want to know who to study each other, and the rain, you can see the ground is wet, but we're not going to see probably the same move at 35K because they're predicting that possibly. So we look forward to possibly have a surprise somewhere else before or after.
Well, nobody's sneaking up on anybody in this race, that's for sure. With that field, everybody knows everybody, everybody respects everybody. Women's professional field on the right. We got a few characters in that drama we're going to have to talk to Kerry about when we return to the 127th Boston Marathon.
Kenmore Square is as alive now as it's ever been, with an authentic mix of tradition and innovation blending into each other to form the secret sauce that makes our city special. This neighborhood, a destination, has always been where the energy of youth and passions of people drive achievement and success. You can always count on us to show you the way home.
Sheriff's Office, how may I help you?
I'm calling to find out if I can have a wellness check.
A shot out of the dark. People were scared.
Things like that don't happen here.
Every turn of the story was always in the headlines.
Up to 100 volunteers turned out for today's search effort.
It's every parent's nightmare.
The incident has shaken up the entire area.
I want my granddaughter home.
I've never seen anything that would compare to anything like this.
How was this even able to happen? How did they let this happen?
Well, what kind of justice is that?
And that was just the beginning of the story.
I don't know how we're gonna get through this.
I thought for sure I was dead. I just didn't know when.
You really never know who the monster is standing next to you.
For most, there's no place like home.
Can I run away from home?
But not for Ronnie Howard.
I ran away, Gomer. I ran away from home.
You're not sending me home.
You want to run away from home?
Why? Make you want to go faster.
You didn't go by and give a kiss, but my husband sure did.
Charlie got in there?
He did.
And you're not mad,
There are people who see what you're doing and think, oh, well, maybe whatever I thought was outside the box.
1:17:47 is his world record, and I don't know how closely we keep barriers, Amanda. Like I feel like 120 would be a great barrier. I don't know. Is 117? Is that do we get to bronze him after this?
You know, I'm not even sure anyone knew that was possible.
Okay.
This sport is moving so quickly. Technology is advancing, training techniques are advancing. All of this is continuing to improve because wheelchair racing's not that old. Racing chairs designed this way with 3 wheels have only existed since the early 90s. So we're still learning a lot about all of this.
So there's who behind him, Jetse Plot from the Netherlands, Romanchuk, the defending champ, in third. They were 8 minutes behind, excuse me, at the last 5K. Pike is there in 4, Watanabe in 5th. Monahan came over from Ireland. Listen, you don't think the Irish guy's getting some cheers as he comes through the streets in Boston? He was in 6th place. And now the turn.
And he is cruising. Another huge thing to mention if we're talking about barriers and equality for this wheelchair division is the equal prize bonus for breaking that course record. Boston was one of the first races to put that into effect. And this is a big thing when we're talking about equality of these divisions.
First place here will pay $25,000. There is a $50,000 time bonus. That'll make you chase your clock.
Absolutely, and he knows he has it. He knew from the start that this was his goal. Look how confident he is coming across the finish line here.
Yep, he has just a few 100 meters to go to championship number 6. And it will be Marcel Hug. Give that man his medal. Boston Marathon champ one more time and in record-setting style.
Marcel Hug, 2023 Boston Marathon champion. This is his 6th championship here in Boston and 3rd course record.
And you hear the bells of the Old South Church toll in honor of the champion, Marcel Hug.
Marcel Hug's unofficial finishing time is 1:17:06. That is smashing his former record here by almost a minute.
By the way, yeah, and by the way, if we have to correct that up or down a second, like, I don't know that I'm unimpressed any less by that. That's amazing. Amazing run. So we'll let him gather himself, and we will visit with him soon after that phenomenal performance. And we go back to the elite races as it has begun to rain on the men out on the course and the women in the elite fields. The men They've gone through 10K. They're got to be coming through pretty soon here for 15K. Man, they've slowed a bunch. I say they've slowed a bunch, and we're talking 4:46 for mile 5, 4:41 for mile 6, and 4:52. And Carrie, we still have a bunch of ladies interested in the fight here.
We definitely do. I mean, look at that pack right now, and you can see a bunch of our Americans right there. We talked about Emma Bates early on. There's Des, you know, right on the back of the pack, which I kind of feel like is exactly where she likes to be, running her own race. You know, you can see Annie Frisbee in there as well, but right up front, we are looking at Maureen Chepkamoy. This is her first time running in the U.S. and also the first time running in a World Marathon Majors. And she's been leading the charge for a long time. On her shoulder there is Lorna Salpeter. She is third from the World Championship. She was second at the New York City Marathon. She really wants a win. She wants a #1.
Yes.
She's had a lot of podiums. She wants a #1.
And it's the women's wheelchair champion in waiting. Although she's fighting through some final hills there, Susanna Scaroni will have the finish of the women's wheelchair. Amanda will take us through that with insight and expertise when we return here to the 127th Boston Marathon.
And said, I mean, you literally won by a mile. Like, you demolished the course in the competition, and it is really awesome to see. Congratulations, Susanna Scaroni, the champion here at Boston finally. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sage. And now, just a side note, 7 more, and she'll match Jean Driscoll for the most all-time in the women's wheelchair event. But we'll get to that later.
One by one.
There you go. 16th mile, a little downhill. Meb, they peel off a little something. 4:23.
4:23. That's pretty fast, but I think the course record is slipping as well. But I think here the biggest challenge of the hills are coming, and the group just got narrower and smaller. And that early pace on 4:37 that they went is kind of costing to some people.
And it's about to get really hard. 16 is that long downhill into 17, and now we're going to be into the hills here momentarily.
16 is one of the fastest late in the race before you make the right turn to the fire station, and then you start climbing the hills. And, you know, this is where the race is going to happen. So we see 7 people been together going up the hills.
And then over on the women's side, Carrie, we still got quite a pack. I like that Helen O'Beary's there. We're kind of waiting for her. And Bates from the U.S. Hello, Emma.
Yeah, and Emma's right there. And you know what I loved is they went through that last water station, and everyone still grabbed it. It is humid, but it is wet, as you can see, and it's cool. So you got to make sure that you're still fueling. And that's the one thing with Helen O'Beary that she maybe didn't quite get in her first marathon in New York City that she's trying to do here.
Let's bring in Naoko Funiyama, because quite frankly, if you're out there in the lead moto, Naoko, and it's raining, I feel like the whole world's a water station to you right now.
Yeah, it's fine, man. This is great running weather, John. I mean, honestly, these runners have such great posture, especially coming into Natick Center, and you got the big cheers starting to happen. You hit the Wellesley College Scream Tunnel. Now we're in Wellesley Center, and you can tell that the runners are so motivated by the cheers because you can see they're starting to kick a little bit stronger. I love the fact that Emma Bates was a little bit behind this lead pack for a little while, but then right before the Scream Tunnel, she kind of joined in with that lead pack. A couple of runners told me that they don't like to be too far from the lead pack because they want that initial surge of cheers, the loud cheers that comes because it's such a huge motivator. So the runners are looking really good at this point in the race. The rain doesn't bother them at all, John.
Rain doesn't bother them. Carrie, at what point then does it bother them, or is it just a nuisance, or how do I feel about the rain?
Well, I think that right now they are, getting closer to home. We know that they're over halfway. They went through in 1:11:29. And there might be a little bit of chill, but I think the big thing is to not forget that, as I said, there is some humidity in the air, and if you aren't still aware of what you're taking in, you know, you're burning a lot. So fueling, hydration is so important in these later stages, and not necessarily what happens in the later stages, it's what you've done in the early stages.
Absolutely. You want to be able to get your fluids in early on. Don't wait until you get thirsty. By that time, performance is way down, so you want to preload your carbohydrate and preload your fluid. So this is a crucial moment, and you know, you want to have more than your competitors.
Kipchoge, Chebet, Kipruto, the brothers' career, who are none of them are related. Gay. Is there anybody in this pack right now, Matt, that's not there that you expected, whether it's DeCisa or Katada? Is there anybody right now that you're a little surprised isn't playing ball? Looks like Connor Mance has dropped off there too, by the way.
Absolutely. I think this one here, like the other favorites, have gone Katata and Lelisa, and but John Career, Kipchoge just took off his gloves, and followed by John Career, so I think we're going to see some great moves going on soon.
There you see the elevation chart. Oh, way back at the left, Hop Kitten, where we started, Hop Kitten is all downhill, but now we're right there, mile 17, and we're into those 4 hills, and eventually culminates with Heartbreak Hill right there between 20 and 21. And at some point, you see, by the time you get all the way down there, you're nearly at sea level. It is a net downhill. But don't tell anybody about the net downhill when they're starting to go there in mile 17 and 18, right, Matt?
Absolutely. No, this is the...
Keep your